Alright, Faye did finally post to her Instagram on Thursday, so it was just an Instagram story, and it's her in a white shirt, and you know how she feels about those white shirts. It's always the white shirt. When anything bad happened in Blank, it was always her wearing a white shirt. I am in silence, but my heart is not silent. The voice in my heart screams nonstop. I try to hide, but I can't. Confusion in my heart makes me unable to breathe. I don't know where I am, in silence or in chaos. I don't know what I want, but I know I can't stay. I try to speak, but the words won't come out. I try to show, but my face won't. I am in silence, but my heart isn't quiet. The confusion in my heart, it makes me unable to breathe. Jeg kender til fem. Det er ligesom robotter, det er koldt i dig selv. De kender ham, alle kan ikke kende sig selv. Men rolig min bror, du kan vende dig til. Jeg kender til rotter, jeg kender til fem. Det er ligesom robotter. Welcome back to TransGuyReacts. My name is Nick, and I make videos about Thai GL series and fandoms. Mainly, it's been a lot of FayeYoko fandom, but since the implosion of that coupledom, that has changed a lot. But I still do want to cover what the situation is. It's still very fresh. I mean, things only happened last Monday. Today is Saturday, February 22nd. So I am going to do an update on like what has happened in the last 6 days, and it is kind of a lot. Actually, I didn't think I would be doing any more content about this, but like it's interesting and it's messy, and I am here for it. So if you're here for it and you want to know what's going on, yeah, follow along. So yeah, let's get into it. So the last video I made was just kind of like summarizing what has happened, and all of these things are all speculation. It's all allegedly, we don't know. So there was another post by some people online about what they think happened, and I wanted to go through it and like give my opinion about like what those things are, kind of a breakdown of the situation, if I agree, or you know, what my thoughts are. What's my reaction to the situation. So let's start with the first one. It was why NineStar is determined to make Faye leave. Faye's contract versus Yoko's contract. So Faye originally signed a contract with NineStar that included a profit sharing agreement, meaning she would receive a percentage of the company's earnings. Yoko, on the other hand, signed a standard actor's contract without this benefit. This meant that Faye had a financial stake in NineStar's success, while Yoko did not. So I could agree with that. Like, I'm sure that's probably exactly what was happening, and from theories that I heard is they wanted to renegotiate that contract, and so that Faye would probably receive less of profit share. This is all speculation, and I can imagine if I was her, I'd be like, absolutely not. I like built this company on my back. Why would I get less profit? And then also the rumor that they were going to break her and Yoko up, which I'm sure she was not on board with either. So yeah, I think that is actually very true. Like, there had to be a financial stake in this. And it made sense too with like all the comments that Yoko would make about Faye being rich. And I was like, oh, that's so weird. Why is she talking about herself? Like, don't they have similar contracts? And of course, no, they don't. Faye signed a very lucrative contract banking on her success to make NineStar what it is today. Number two, NineStar's initial plan. NineStar never intended to promote Faye and Yoko as a couple pairing because Faye, unlike a typical couple actress, had a profit-sharing contract. Separating them was always part of the plan. This is why their early projects were marketed as neutral, not as a couple. So I actually would say there might be some truth to this, that, P1 initially was like, okay, great, I have this, I have Faye to like kind of bolster this show, bring it up so it gets some success, and then I can execute my other plans that I have, right? But then not, thinking that it would become this very big success, especially internationally, being the second most viewed show in 2024 in terms of GL series, and didn't also expect that the two co-stars would obviously fall in love with each other. Like, that's what everyone saw, is that they fell in love with each other. And so now your plan to have this, multi-coupledom, multifaceted company with your own ideas and your own visions are not what the fans want. The fans want this couple to stay together, and so the couple wants to stay together. And this is all speculation, but I could believe that ego got in the way of this, and not understanding like how businesses work, not having the business acumen to understand that you need to pivot. You might have an idea of how you want your business to go, but then when you see another opportunity that makes way more sense and more financially, make you more financially successful, that you would stay in that lane and make that pivot. But no, that's not what happened. They did not do everything they could to keep Faye, which I think was very ridiculous. And I do think it had to do with money. If she had a profit sharing portion of it, not only did their original plan could have been to have them be separated and to pair them off with other people, but they also didn't want possibly Faye's popularity to be acknowledged and to give her more money that she definitely deserved based on like growing this company. But this is all speculation, this is all opinion. I don't know if this is even true, if this is, you know, the intention, but it just sounds very plausible. 3. The unexpected rise of the couple. The project became wildly popular in China, attracting huge business opportunities. NineStar, realizing the financial potential, started organizing fan events to maximize profits. However, during these events, FayeYoko truly fell in love. NineStar saw this as a threat because of the couple became the company's biggest asset. Faye's influence and financial leverage would only increase, which I think is true. I think, you know, if you're thinking around the business mindset, you're like, I want to have control of my entire business, and I don't want some other person, some other entity to have any stake in that, right? So you want to reduce their profit margins or their control. I don't think they expected it to grow this much, especially in the beginning when it had so much backlash. I don't think they were expecting it to grow this big, but and no one was expecting them to fall in love, because most of, you know, like 95% of these GL couples are fake. Like, it's just fan service. They're just playing into the fantasy, and it was very obvious that like they were not. They were genuinely being themselves. It was very much like private, not secret. 4. NineStar's attempts to break the couple. Faye's rising popularity and financial stake made her a long-term threat to NineStar's control. To counter this, NineStar took several steps. 1. Secretly spread negative rumors about the couple to weaken its influence. Now this, I don't know if I believe this. People are saying like that NineStar are buying bots and they're putting out negative rumors. It's them who are doing it. I don't know if that's true. I think there's plenty of people out there who are haters who are doing it themselves. Like, I don't think NineStar has to do any extra work for that. So I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration or just not true. 2. Rejected business deals for Faye and Yoko as a duo and stopped arranging fan meetings to prevent the couple from growing. Stop arranging joint fan meetings to prevent the couple from growing. So 1, I would say, yes, that's true. They did reject business deals because businesses have come out and said that they did reach out to them and that they didn't hear back. So that is true. 2, though, started arranging joint fan meetings. They stopped arranging joint fan meetings to prevent the couple from growing. That's not true, because the only reason they did separate fan meetings was only in China, and that's because China is not exactly the most gay-friendly place, and to get around laws of the laws of the country, they had to promote them separately, and they had to be like kind of explicit that it wasn't about it being a GL. It was just about like their popularity as individuals. It had nothing to do with the show or anything, which was kind of weird. So that had nothing to do with them not having fan meetings together. Whenever they were in a friendly country, a queer friendly country, they would do their fan meetings together because then they could. But at the same time, you know, that worked out in NineStar's favor to have them separate, because you got 2 for 1. You get your money, you know, the money was coming in twice as much as it normally would have. It worked out in their favor, but that wasn't their doing. 3, started 1+1 fan meets, individual promotions, and instructed them to publicly declare they were single. So the 101 fan meets, like I said, I was kind of referencing that with the China thing. That's not really true. But they did do promotions by themselves. Like, Faye would do things with Maybelline. You saw Yoko do the thing with Bulgari. So they were doing separate things. And for me, I didn't really care that much, because a lot of times brands sometimes only want one person from the couple. They don't want both of the couples to do the promotion. So technically that might not have been NineStar. So I can't put that on them, but it is possible that it was their doing. I don't know. And then and then told them to say that they were single. Well, I can't be for certain about this either. Faye always said that she didn't want to talk about her personal life, and then Yoko was the only one who said that she was single. So can't be for certain if NineStar told them to do this. There's no proof around that. Launched a new project to find Yoko a new couple partner. This is probably true with the whole Newbie situation. That's what people are guessing. It could be, everyone's guessing that it's probably going to be Grace, but who knows what that situation was, but it could be true. Brought in a financial CEO to restructure the company and renegotiate Faye's profit-sharing agreement. Yes, I think that's exactly what they did. I think that Wan was like, I need to step away from the CEO duties. I actually want to be more of a creative. I want to make some hard decisions about my company, and I don't want to be the person that everyone hates for doing that. So I'm just going to hire someone else to come in here, restructure the company, make these hard decisions, and then that could be their responsibility. And that backfired. 5. The final breaking point. NineStar saw the Four Elements project as the perfect opportunity to separate Faye and Yoko. They wanted Yoko to act with a new partner, making the new couple the company's main moneymaker. However, Four Elements rejected Yoko's involvement without Faye, and Faye refused to split from Yoko. And from what I'm hearing, that is probably the most accurate situation of what happened with the Four Elements project, coming from the producer and from people inside the industry who've said things or like alluded to things, is that basically they were going to be a part of it, but NineStar did not want them to be together in the show. And so yeah, whatever ripple effects that had behind the scenes influenced Faye to leave. So here we are. To leave, influence Faye to leave or influence them to let her go. We're not really sure. 6 says failed negotiations and forced couple breakup. NineStar pulled out of Four Elements, assuming the issue was just about money, but the project's producer exposed the real reason, causing fan backlash against NineStar. Four Elements tried to renegotiate, but NineStar refused unless Faye and Yoko were separated. NineStar then tried to force Faye into a new contract with a lower profit-sharing offering to keep the couple intact as an exchange. Faye refused, knowing that would delay her and Yoko's careers. With no other options, NineStar publicly announced the couple breakup and blamed Faye for choosing to terminate the contract. The entire process was NineStar's way of regaining control, ensuring Faye's influence and earnings were minimized, and pushing Yoko into a new couple for future profits. Okay, that was really long, but like I would agree with some of that. Like some of it is hearsay. We're not really sure about the details and all of that, but like I would say that for the most part, like most of that is probably true and what happened from what the pieces that we are putting together. Some of it may not exactly be true, but for the most part, betrayal, treating people disrespectfully in terms of like their influence on your company and all that. So yeah, you know, I understand Faye. If she was the one who was like, no, I'm done with y'all, I could totally understand it, because like it's like a stab in the back, especially after you've seen us over the past year, all the work that went into building this company, all the people that she brought on the team, all of the work she put into Yoko, the fact that their relationship had changed and became more real, like for them to come to them like about this like this, yeah, it's hurtful for sure. And I have to agree with these like criticisms of the company, like yeah, like there was like a lack of content was really weird too, like in terms of like what they were doing with managing their image and bolstering their image in Thailand. Like not much was really being done. We just weren't getting the proper amount of content. And I also understand that Faye and Yoko probably knew that they were going to get broken up when they first signed on to the project, right? But things changed. They got closer. They got a really great chemistry. People wanted to see more of them together. So even if they agreed in the beginning, it's just like, why would you still go ahead with that plan when things had obviously changed in the favor of like supporting this couple to stay together? Faye having that business stake in this company, I think really says a lot. I think that really played a part in this whole thing. Is like some of it's about ego and some of it's about greed. You know, sometimes it's about that bottom line, and people don't want to share in that kind of success with other people. And for me, this is like a good case of like not having really good business acumen. Like I said earlier about pivoting, when you see something working, then you need to go towards that. You don't like go the opposite direction of like what was working for you. And then it really makes me think about like why Ice left, right, and why Marissa left. They left amicably, but it tells you a lot when Ice is supposedly, she was like a co-founder with the company. She was like the COO, and then she happened to like want to act and stuff, and so she was part of the acting biz. Like it doesn't make any sense when your CEO leaves so early when you're having such success. And apparently they like both left after a very successful fan meeting. Like the next day they put in their resignations, and I'm like, man, that is a red flag. It's a huge red flag when that early in the process. And then you have to be honest about like the company really did fail the fans, because they did have a lot of false promises about content, about a world tour, any content really. There really wasn't any content coming out for them, and I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I was like, they're small, they're growing really fast, there's some growing pains, over time things will even out and we'll get more from the company. But that just didn't happen. I'm always of the mind that like a lot of this is business, right? It's all business. It's all about money at the end of the day, and some of it can become personal, and in this sense I think it definitely had some personal things going on, because this makes no sense financially. From a financial standpoint for the company, it really doesn't make any sense for them not to retain Faye, and the fact that they let her go, they were not willing to budge on the negotiations, says a lot about where the company is going and the best business acumen that the company does not have. People have pointed out too, just another thing about like how bad the company handled things. And you make it play devil's advocate, this was during the winter time, but the fact that Faye and Yoko were sick all the time. They were traveling all the time and they were sick all the time. And they were constantly interacting with people, doing the fan meets, doing the high buys and the high touches, constantly interacting and getting sick in different climates, different weathers, like all the time. And that wasn't really managed very well. There's a lot of problems. There's just a lot of problems going on with the situation. Khun Looknut, she was at the marriage equality conference, and she is the one who sat next to Faye when they were talking. Apparently they've been friends for a long time, and she shared some information about the Bangkok Pride situation. She wrote, the other day I attended a meeting for another fandom, and a Faye fan club member I know was there as well. We had a chance to talk that day, and everyone expressed their concerns about us not inviting FayeYoko to the marriage equality event. I firmly confirmed that we did invite them and even discussed it with the organizing team. There was no doubt it had to be them. We even reached out in advance to lock in their schedule. The fan club mentioned that both of them were actually free that day and there weren't many events happening. They questioned whether we truly invited them, wondering why we didn't. I was completely confused because we all had been informed of was that they weren't available. I still feel really sad, disappointed, and frustrated because this was a historic and significant event for Thailand. It's such a shame that the artists we love and support couldn't attend. What we do know is that during the press conference, Yoko even told us to make sure to invite them if there was a wedding, and Faye asked when there would be another event like this because they wanted to come and support. They truly want to support social causes, but not just promotional events or their own work. Today, the fan club sent me this information, but I want to read through and interpret carefully because before saying anything more, for now, we continue to send our support to FayeYoko always. This is really telling because, in terms of the company not giving them opportunities, because I thought that was weird too. Engfa and Charlotte were at this marriage equality event. Why would you invite them to have them go to the conference and then not have them go to the main event when they were available? It's you're sabotaging opportunities. When you have Faye, who is a direct, even Yoko was a part of the community as well, but Faye has been a part of the community for years, very outwardly spoken about being a part of the community and supporting this, and you wouldn't have them there. That is just it is pretty sus, and the fact that we just don't know any information. We're getting this secondhand from fan clubs, or oh well, the fan club asked about it and they knew their schedule was that they were available, but they weren't there. Why weren't they there? And it's well, that was NineStar's doing, not our doing. We invited them. Bad management. Bad it doesn't look good for NineStar. I found this post and I thought this kind of summarized how people were generally feeling. So they both are victims of the same devil, but one could free herself while the other have to stay. Regarding the news we got, they had totally different contracts, which made Faye leave company without any fees to pay. Yoko got standard actor's contract, where termination of its leads to paying huge fees for the company. Those news about NineStar not wanting FayeYoko to be their main couple from the start makes sense if you look back at how they were managing their careers. This also could be the reason we stopped getting their joint TikTok lives, which stopped in September, by the way. After that, when Faye had that red hair and they were just doing the most in that live, that was the last time we saw them together. Careers yet, they saw the potential and took temporary advantage of the girls to earn money for their next projects by doing fan meets in China, which sounds about right. This way, the girls were used and fans were used as well, because all we were thinking that we would get a new FayeYoko, even girls themselves. Everyone thought we were going to get a new series soon, right? Not only they made a huge impact on the girl love industry, but also they made their bond really strong, what probably was even more inconvenient for the company's future plans. They both got portrayed along with fans. Yeah, I would say that's true. I believe that what this person wrote is really similar to how I feel in terms of if all of this is true. This is I personally feel the same way, that they just got cheated and taken advantage of, and it's unfortunate that we're here, but we're here. I found this post. Someone from the Drama Academy posted this picture of Faye and Yoko during a workshop that they were doing. So obviously they were preparing to do their next project, which was probably the 4E project, and then this was, I think, the end of January they were in this workshop, and then to have this happen a couple weeks later is just kind of devastating. I do want to talk about Nani. She is the new interim CEO with NineStar, and her work experience, not maybe having the business acumen for this role. And I think that has a lot to say about like the hiring process in general for NineStar and what they're looking for. Unfortunately, she has been attacked online because of this whole boycott. So she did like private her Facebook and her LinkedIn, I believe, because she was just getting too many messages. But if you look at her background, and this is me looking at her background as someone who comes from a talent acquisition background, a recruiter background, so just looking at her background, I'm looking at it, just glancing at it as I would. I'm looking at how long she's been in each role, and each role is very, very short. She's got a couple where she was there for like 2 years, maybe 3 years, but for the most part, she does very, very short tenures. Now, someone would be like, oh, she's a job hopper, and I'm like, yeah, definitely. But I don't know if she is a fixer, which very well she could be. She could be someone who comes in to a company when there is a need for a temporary position to fix things. So she fixes the problem and then she dips. That could very well what she does, and that's what she likes to do. You don't have any attachments to any companies. You just come in, you fix the job, and then you leave. So that could very well what she does. And then you're looking at her background. This is like all tech and fintech and venture capitalism. So she's a money person, right? Coming into a media company. These are completely different backgrounds, right? So does she have the background to be a CEO for a media company? Not really. Does she have even the background to be a CEO? Honestly, not really. No, but like she wanted the opportunity to be an interim CEO and get that experience under her belt. She is coming from a background of like product management and like strategy and operations in terms of like sales and stuff like that. So I get it. Like it makes sense, but at the same time, it really tells you a lot about the hiring process when this is the person that they chose. So is not a terrible hire. It's not a good hire. I'll say that. She's not a terrible, like her work history isn't terrible in terms of like being an interim CEO, but it doesn't make sense for a media company with her background. It really doesn't. But here we are. Nawat got on, I don't know when this was. When was this? February 8th. It was like during all of this hoopla.
มันเป็นอย่างไรบ้างก็คู่ของฝ้ายไม่ได้เล่นนะครับเมื่อกี้ฝ้ายโทรมาหาผมเสียดายฝ้ายใช่ฝ้ายน่าจะได้เล่นเนาะเมื่อกี้ก็โทรมาคุยกันเศร้าๆเป็นอย่างไรบ้าง
Nawat said, how's it going? Well, Faye pair didn't perform. Faye just called me earlier. And then Nawat goes, such a shame for Faye. Yeah, Faye should have been able to perform. She just called me a moment ago. So sad. Basically, this was before the announcement. Yeah, this came out before the announcement. So Nawat said this for the official announcement from NineStar. So like people were like, oh, okay, so this had to do with the 4 Elements project, even though he never explicitly says that this is about the 4 Elements project, but that's what people pretty much assumed from him saying that he talked to her. And also he has a big ass mouth. He is always just telling everybody's business, like, bro, you don't need to tell everybody who you're talking to and what you're talking about. Have some discretion. Something that I did notice too over the last few days is that people have been subscribing to Faye's YouTube channel. I don't know if she even like logs into it anymore, but she had like only maybe like 70 or 80,000 followers, and now she has over 100K. So that's really great. So love that people are trying to support her in any way that they possibly can. So again, Nawat, Faye called him and he was so excited about it. He was like, Faye Malisan Super... No, he said Faye Super Plon Malisan, so he said her old name. Of course he would say her old name, but he was super excited that she called him, but he was during his live, so he really couldn't chat with her. And then what he said was, he answered the phone and he was like, how are you? Are you okay? Going to talk about work? Is everything going well? ... And then the person on the screen was like, everyone hurry, is Samut Sankran not yet? Don't tell boss yet. And then Nawat comes back on this screen and he goes, Super Porn Marisan from Thailand is calling. He was super juiced. He loves her so much, so I can see him really excited to talk to her. They wouldn't talk every day or every week because like they've been close for a year, so it might not even be a big deal, but people are like speculating. Obviously they're talking that she might be going back to MGI, which I would hope not, to be honest. I really hope that she's not going straight back to MGI. I hope that she takes some time for herself and heals from the situation, and if she does go back to MGI as an actor, or anything, it's just like on her terms. So hopefully. that's what happens. Other turn of events is that Yoko's Instagram became a business chat, so fans can not talk to her directly anymore through Instagram. Doesn't mean they can't talk to her through TikTok or X or whatever, but they can't talk to her through Instagram anymore, which makes sense when you think about when Nani said that they're going to have more discipline around social media accounts. So this makes sense that they would be changing and controlling her account. Right after they changed her account, there was a post from Yoko, and we're not sure, like, because they are controlling her account, we're not sure if she posted this or not, right? So, like, things are, if your company is in control of your social media, things are on a schedule and things are approved ahead of time. So this might have been approved ahead of time. This might have been like, so like, we need you to post a picture, something, you know, we need something to go up, so, that's neutral, and that's what she provided. We don't know, because she's not allowed to talk because she has NDAs as well. So no one knows if this was something she wanted to post or not. In addition, there was this video that she made. It's for her uni project. She asked for fans to send in clips of them outside of, you know, venues or what have you, and like yell Yoko or whatever, or Yobi or whatever. And she put it together for class, and she put it on her stories, and a lot of people felt that it was weird. The timing was weird. It seems like something she would not have done. Is this like her goodbye message to her fans? There's a lot of speculation. Did NineStar post this? Because, like, definitely doesn't seem like Yoko would have posted it. One of her friends did confirm that she did edit it, that it was edited by her, but didn't confirm that she wanted to post it or not. I mean, but yeah, so anything being posted by Yoko right now is kind of being deemed as suspicious because of the situation. Like, she even, I think, reposted about the Newbies episode 1 and the song, and that also got a lot of backlash because people don't believe that she is doing that on her own accord. I think that's the business. Things are challenging out here right now. Things aren't clear. I watched a longer clip of this video, and I was like, okay, this person kept writing, Neko, please touch your ice. They meant to say eyes, but they kept writing ice if Yoko needs help. They kept writing it over and over and over again. And other people were writing it over again. Eventually, she saw it. You could tell she was reading the screen, and then she did see it. And she does touch her eyes. What does that mean? What does that mean? We're not sure. I mean, did she touch her eyes because she wanted to touch her eyes, or did she touch her eyes because she read the comment and she's letting us know without having to speak verbally that, yeah, she does need help right now? Can't do anything. I'm on the other side of the world. There's nothing I can do for this girl. I feel bad for her being locked into this contract and being manipulated like this. It just sucks. I don't have 20 million baht. I can't help you, you know? Then Faye did write a message to P. Pin. He's the person who made all of those great songs for Blank and the upcoming songs that they had as well, like With You This Year and the theme song for the Newbies. And she wrote a message to him, and he shared that message on his stories. He wrote, and P. Faye also came to encourage me to make a song saying, fight P. Pin Ho. Send lots of love to P. Faye. That was nice for him to share that, you know, he's in contact with her and that she was like telling him to be inspired to keep making music. She's out there fighting. She's still out there fighting. Okay, so a lot of her friends, posted in support of Faye, right? And so some of the people that posted were obviously Gift and stuff, but P. Pim posted, and also P. Pim and P. are together. They're a couple, and they both posted messages of support for Faye after this. Now, the thing that's important about that, like, why is that important? That is because P. Pim and P. were Wan's friends. They're P. Wan's friends. They weren't even Faye's friends before all of this started. They were Wan's friends, and they too were also terminated from the company, and eventually they were unfollowed by Yoko, right? And I think that wasn't Yoko. I think that was the company unfollowing them and kind of sending a message. So really sad that it has come to this, that even like Wan's close friends are siding with Faye. So that tells you a lot. Like, if your close friends ain't even siding with you, you fired your friends over all this, whatever's going on in the background. It's not good. It's not good. And this is post. And after they got unfollowed by Yoko, they wrote, "So cruel. They can do anything. We've reached the end, Pim. Enough. It's over. Time to move on. Hurt and learn. There's nothing left to do with this kind of person anymore." Bro, that's how they felt about their friend, bro. That's their close friend. this is where I'm like, okay, when you see more and more stuff from like the friends and the people who are behind the scenes, and I'm like, oh, this is definitely a NineStar problem. Like it's not. None of this has anything to do with FayeYoko. This is internal. P I don't know how to say their name. They're really good close friends with Faye. They posted this on their Instagram. A lot of people, or not their Instagram, their X, their Twitter. A lot of people think that because Faye can't talk right now, she is talking through her friends. So she's talking through Kathana, she's talking through Opor, and she's talking through Pam whenever something is written on X. Or even on Instagram too. Not all the time, but sometimes. Like some of the things that they write, it's clearly not coming from them, and it makes more sense that it's coming from her in terms of like what they're writing about. So this post, P.O.Por wrote, reposted this, basically. Someone else wrote it, and they reposted it. And so people assume that this is Faye's words and, like, kind of telling us, the world, like, what was going on. And it says, I accept ending everything because my weakness is you. You deserve a bright future. You did nothing wrong. You just wanted to follow your dreams. I accept the pain for you. I don't know how deep the wound is. There's one thing that both you and I have. That is that the one time we had each other and did good things for each other. Oh my goodness, Jesus. That's just tough. And makes a lot of sense, though. Like, yeah, Faye was like, you know what? I'm going to fall on the sword and I'm going to take the hit and hit to my career and financially and all that, because I want you to have the opportunity to be an actor because you're so young, and I already have the opportunity to be an actor, and I will have more opportunities to be an actor, but like this is your time to shine. And I was just like, damn, that sucks. That's rough. That's rough. That's love. That's rough, and that's love. You know, obviously, like Faye's friends are very supportive of her, and so there's been just a lot of support, and this is just some of the posts that came out like right after, you know, from her friends. PI is even posting things. PI, she started a new company, a new GL production company. I think it's called Heart Pop or something like that. So, see, we'll be waiting for a new series from her soon. Dearest, someone posted this, and this is like from last year. They put this post over Wan's face, which is funny, but because it said, so excited about the project I'll be working on with NineStar this year. And then people did notice that P-Pin did unfollow NineStar. So that is like, you know, he already made his public statement about how he didn't want to work with her ever again, and then now he unfollowed them on social media. Yeah, this is what the message he wrote after the statement came out. He says, I'm done with the CEO. I will work with people who have the same attitude as me, people who want to create great work and who have empathy for others. So he's not very happy. Let's just say that. He's not happy with her. Also in his bio, like he already has some other hashtags like girlfriend and Becky's Angels because he works with Friend and Becky. He also changed his bio to include hashtag FairyBabe and hashtag Yobi. So he is still supporting them, even though he's not going to be working with them directly, but that's really nice. It says a lot. And then I don't know if this is true, but people were saying that Freen and Becky were following Wan and that they unfollowed her recently, which makes sense because especially for Freen is really good friends with Faye, so that would make sense that once she heard about what happened, she was like, no, I'm about to back up my friend, screw this company, screw this woman, I don't know her. You're like, we're not close like that. And then I'm assuming Becky, you know, for solidarity purposes. So that's kind of crazy because apparently Wan is a huge like GL stan and she loves Freen and Becky, so for them to unfollow her is probably hurting. That probably hurts her feelings a lot. This is P-Ben. P-Ben was one of the assistant directors on Blink, and she actually has like a really tiny role on the last episode. She plays like the cashier, the cafe person in the hospital, giving them their drinks. But yeah, she was like an assistant director on Blank, and was really cool, got close to Faye, and she doesn't really post on social media. Like, if she does post on social media, she doesn't even put her face on it, right? She's very seldom online like that, but she took the time to show support and, like, posted about how Faye, like, came, like, her and some other people made sure to, like, celebrate her birthday and went all out and got her cakes and stuff, so she posted the pictures of that. And I'm just like, bro. And like, and then also a message about like how they love each other or whatever. Like, when the assistant director is coming out showing support, okay. And then someone wrote on one of her messages, and then this person wrote, NineStarStudio creates FayeYoko, then tore them apart. Faye is out. Y is trapped under control. This is manipulation. not just the ship sinking. Fight for their rights. And P-Ben actually liked that comment, so like the industry is crazy because like usually people will be pretty quiet and don't like want to turn against a company or anything. It's like you don't really want to be talking bad about anyone really in general, but like people were like kind of loud. They're being kind of loud, like, yeah, this company is awful. Faye was on social media and like she hasn't posted anything aside from a recent, I'll talk about that later, a recent story. So she only had her last posting up of some selfies, and 2 people posted in there, and she did like the postings, and I thought I would just read what those postings were. So first it says, Faye, I am proud of you for every struggle you face and every challenge you've overcome. Know this is your strength is remarkable, more than you give yourself credit for. You possess a resilience most can only admire, and remember you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. I believe in you always and forever. And I want to highlight more. After watching the movie and reading Blank the series, I couldn't stop reading your stories on Wattpad. Your character is a mafia boss, a businesswoman, a protector, and so much more. You show us so many different sides of yourself. FayeYoko, I just want to say, never give up. Keep fighting because you can do this, whether with or without anyone by your side. You've created a community of fans, even internationally, and we all believe in you. And then someone else wrote, we are rooting for you and praying for you. You have no idea how many millions of people are with you. We love you and are rooting for you. Please take care of yourself. And so yeah, she liked those. So like gave us some sense that she was still like in it. Again, like we're not hearing from her. She's being pretty quiet. So we're like, okay, hopefully she's all right. We don't know. You think she's okay?
I talk to her every day. Thank you all of the fans that love Faye and protect her heart. ขอบคุณค่ะ Wanna make sure that she okay every day. Don't worry. I talk to her every day ค่ะ
So this is her friend TE, just kind of confirming. There's more friend like support that like people are reaching out to her. Don't worry, she's okay. And I figured as much. She has a lot of good friends, and they're all very visible online, and they've been confirming that she is okay. She's devastated, but she's okay. Now, the response from the fan bases have been interesting. So a lot of the global fans, the Chinese fans, have pretty much banded together and pretty agreed to essentially boycott the company but support the artist. Some say that they'll still support Yoko at NineStar, but for the most part, most people are like, we are boycotting. We don't want to support NineStar. We will only support FayeYoko as together as a couple and nothing else. So that has been interesting in terms of development, in terms of like organizing. People are organized online. This is mostly coming from X, though. I would say like people are more mobilized on X to make changes here. On Instagram, it's just more like people just reminiscing, and the same for TikTok. I felt like TikTok was a lot of hatred and vitriol, and that's kind of quieted down now, and now people are just like reminiscing and sad. And but I don't see as much like boycott NineStar as I do see on X. It's way more relaxed on TikTok. Which is kind of surprising because I feel like the virality would do well there, but people aren't attaching to the boycott as much as they are on like X per se. Same joint statement. What is this joint statement? Official joint statement from FayeYoko global fan bases around the world officially unite to make our stance clear. We firmly support FayeYoko and will not accept any separation of the pair. FayeYoko is one. We believe in their strong bond and will continue to stand by them. Fan bases worldwide have established connections. We are united, we speak as one, and we stand together. No matter the challenges ahead, we remain unwavering in our support, rejecting all attempts to divide or disrupt the relationship. This is like kind of overboard, to be honest, but like, I mean, fan clubs, maybe they make money or something. There's some financial gain to this. I don't understand. Like, this is like kind of a political movement at this point. It's not for me. I'm not into that kind of stuff. I am just falling for the messy drama. Okay? I'm here for the drama. Okay, so they are losing subscribers for sure. So these are like kind of numbers about like what they've lost. Their YouTube is down 174. That was 3 days ago. That was 2 days. Now it's 864. So 174 to 864. So they lost 10K subscribers in the last 2 days. But they've lost more than that because I think they had 936 total subscribers starting a week ago. So now, what is this? This is 172,000. I'm gonna assume that is Instagram. 164. 85,000 on X, and I believe on X they used to be like in the 110s or something like that. Now they're 83,000. Like every day it just keeps going down. And then there, it looks like, is this TikTok? Tiki Tech? 242. So it's gone down another 4,000 or something like that. Yeah. So those are the numbers. Is that all the numbers? Yeah, those are the numbers. And they are going down slowly but surely. I would say like probably, depending on which site, it's anywhere between 30 to 60,000 they've lost on each site, which to me isn't honestly that much. I would imagine that it should be more than that. I think they lost more on YouTube. I think that's where they lost the most. But this is like a little bit about the coverage that was on TV on the show. But this is kind of like a gossip show, so I can't really speak to it as much. I'm not from Thailand. I don't know if this is a good source or not. Also, the coverage in Thailand hasn't been that much, mainly because this is like an entertainment thing, and it's kind of par for the course. It's not that big of a deal for couples to break up, but under these circumstances, it is pretty unique. But it's kind of inappropriate, I think, to speak on this kind of stuff publicly, and that's why it hasn't really been picked up by Thai media. So I don't know. I think that a lot of people behind the scenes in the industry know each other. It's not that big of an industry, so like people know what's going on. The people who matter know. It's just the general public doesn't know, and that's because FayeYoko's footprint in Thailand isn't that big. It's much bigger internationally. So unfortunately, this is how it's going to be. It's not going to probably get as much traction in the news as you would expect. Around this time, I don't have any footage of it, but around this time or a post about it, that there is speculation that March 1st fan meeting was going to be like their farewell fan meeting in China has been canceled. I'm not for certain about that. I don't have any information to confirm it, but that's what's going on online is people are saying that fan meeting is canceled. Oh my god. We posted on their Instagram this picture of them. Oh my god, it's it's PI, it's Bank, it's and P-Pim, and they're so happy, and they wrote, "We are ... Probably free is what they this is what P's probably think is like, "We are free." But again, this is this is P-Pim, they're together. They were friends with Wan. And then they also got let go. So that tells you a lot. Nawat went on live again because he's on a live like almost every day selling something, and he wanted to talk about Faye. Someone asked about it. So someone asked, "Will Faye return to MGI?" He says, "Must ask seriously to call and ask Faye." He says he didn't talk to Faye yesterday because Faye called and said that he said he was busy. So that he's talking about, she called yesterday when he was on that live. He was busy, but he didn't get a chance to call her back yet and ask her seriously about joining MGI. So I will call and ask Faye first. And he goes, "No, Yoko still has a contract." So I'm assuming a fan is asking, "Will you take Yo with you?" And he's saying, "No, she still has a contract." That whole situation, just Nawat just talking, sharing way too much information. Like, maybe Faye didn't want people to know that. I don't know, but he'd just be sharing. It also kind of crushed my dreams about Nawat buying Yoko's contract out and bringing them both over to MGI, but I should have known that was a pipe dream because, one, she's not a beauty pageant, so he only wants to work with beauty pageants who've been through MGI, so I don't see that happening. I mean, that's kind of it. That's usually the reason. And then it's a lot of money to buy someone's contract out, which is not a guarantee that you're going to get a return on it. Although I think they would. It's just not something that he probably wants to do right now. I heard, though, in the past he had to buy out Engfa's contract, and it was some crazy amount. If anyone knows the details about that, please leave that in the comment section about Engfa's buyout, and if that has any precedent here. He is talking to Faye, and he is thinking about asking her to rejoin MGI, and like I said before, I don't know if that's a good idea. I think she should just take a break. She does not need to be joining another company, and if she does, it needs to be like, as a contractor, like just here and there, not as like locked in and they control your entire life. Someone asked him, and he said, "Faye is now free as far as I know." Secretly cheering for Faye. FayeLu will pair FayeLu. I also want to pair. because I also want them to be a FayeYoko couple. So that he says that, you know, he's confirming that she's free. We don't know if that's true, if she's actually completely out of her contract right now, but Nawat saying she is. And then he's saying that he wanted to pair Faye up with this woman called Lou, and people were like, no, don't do it. They were so upset because like it's a little too fresh. Nawat, it's a little too fresh. People were like, give us some time before you put her with someone else. But yeah, he doesn't really care. He's not thinking about that. But I thought that was funny. He was already shipping her with someone else. And in fact, I think Faye would do fine with anyone else that she worked aside with. She has the chemistry in the natural talent to build that chemistry with anyone. But I just it's just like it's not the time to watch. Bad. He's just always saying shit that's like out of pocket. P-Pen made another Instagram update, and he had his dog in the picture, and he put on the song "With You This Year" by FayeYoko. So sad. Like all this support. Like I love that. You know, they're just getting all this support from people, and it's really sweet. And it's unfortunate that like his songs will be obscured by the controversy, right? Like, so "With You This Year," people aren't going to be probably listening to that. They're also not going to be listening to the new theme song for the Newbies, even though it's really good. It's very, very good, but overshadowed by this mess. Oh, and then right after he wrote this, oh my goodness, P-Pen wrote, "Butterfly effect, how a seemingly small action results in a major event at a later time." You know he wrote this in regards to this situation, clearly. Like, what else would it be about? And that's, you know, the butterfly is the symbol that Faye gives to Yoko, so we will see. Hopefully it's good things. Alright, Faye did finally post to her Instagram on Thursday, so it was just an Instagram story, and it has her in a white shirt, and you know how she feels about those white shirts. It's always the white shirt. When anything bad happened in Blank, it was always her wearing a white shirt. So she's wearing a white shirt, she's looking down, she's really sad, and then she had this song on for this picture, and it was called Depression. It was a Thai song called Depression. Oh my goodness. And the lyrics are just like too much. Like, here are the lyrics. "I am in silence, but my heart is not silent. The voice in my heart screams nonstop. I try to hide, but I can't. Confusion in my heart makes me unable to breathe. I don't know where I am, in silence or in chaos. I don't know what I want, but I know I can't stay. I try to speak, but the words won't come out. I try to show, but my face won't. I am in silence, but my heart isn't quiet. The confusion in my heart, it makes me unable to breathe." Faye. Oh, I can only imagine. I mean, this makes sense, like that she would be feeling this way, and of course she would find a song that was appropriate. "I don't know how much longer I have to endure this pain. No one has ever truly understood. I try to hold on, but I can't stand anymore. How many more times must I cry? There's no way to bring my life back to how it used to be. I just want to escape, to run far, far away. I can't stay here anymore. If I were to die, maybe it would be better, because in life we all must leave sooner or later. Our farewell is just a part of fate. So many people keep saying it's okay." Oh! Oh! And this is why I'm like, this was not about only just business and it being this is professional shit. This is personal. Like, she is clearly, talking about the loss of Yoko as well, right? Not only just like this opportunity, but like her relationship with Yoko on the screen. I don't know if they're still together. I don't know if they're trying to make this work, even though they won't be able to see each other as much as they used to. I would imagine that NineStar will try their best to pull them apart from each other, even just like making Yoko's life like really busy so she doesn't have time to see Faye. These are the moments where I'm like, I really hope Yoko is moving in with Faye in her new house, because damn, girl, you need all the support you can get, because she is literally alone. Like, Yoko is alone in that company. There's no one there that was there in the beginning, and none of Faye's friends are there to protect her, so she is absolutely alone. Ooh, scary, scary, scary. So this was a video interview with with Engfa and Charlotte, and they were asked, if you could work with any actress, who would you want to work with? And Charlotte said FreenBecky, but Engfa said FayeYoko. She's like, I would like to add one more couple. She was like, I would like to work with FreenBecky too, but I'd like to add one more couple. I want it to be P-Faye and Yoko. Because I already know P-Faye in a family way through Miss Grand. we started in a similar way. And I feel like she's another Yuri actress with a lot of charm. That interview is from about a week ago, and this is just surfacing now, and people are even more upset because they're like, even Engfa wanted this. Like, we could have had this. This was probably going to happen. This might have been in the middle of the negotiations, and so, like, she was kind of hinting, like, hey, yeah, I really want to work with FayeYoko, but then that didn't happen, and here we are. I think we will get a project with them together in the future. Just not right now. Alrighty, so the next thing I want to talk about is Pam's posting. So she was posting on Instagram and I think on X or whatever. She went to Vietnam to go to Ling Orm's fan meeting with some of her friends. But when she posted some stuff, it was very suspicious. People are trying to grab onto anything that they can in terms of FayeYoko. So, and they did for this situation. So, Pam was like recording something with her friend in the airport, and it scans some people walking away, and people assume that it's FayeYoko because of how they look in the background. So you'll see it scans, and you see them in the background here. Could this be them? It does look like their stature. It does look like the suitcase that Faye has that she takes everywhere to the airport. Possibly. I don't know, right? Okay, so like, is that them? Probably not. It probably isn't them. Is it them though? Maybe. Could I believe that they went to Vietnam with their friends, not to go to the Ling Norm fan meeting, no, to just go and get away? Like, they're like, oh, okay, you guys are going to Vietnam. We'll come to, let me check the flight that you're on. Let me see if there's any more extra seats. We'll stay at the same hotel. We'll just kick it with y'all while y'all go do that. But we're gonna hang out and do other things. I could believe that because like they need a break. They definitely needed some time away. So I can see this being true. But also this might not be them. But people are losing their shit. They're like, is that them? Is that them walking away? Oh my god. Now, the smoking gun is this conversation. Okay, like, those voices sound like FayeYoko, okay? Granted, the Faye voice is really short. It's only saying a couple words, but it sounds just like her in her tone of voice. It sounds just like her. It's really hard to say that that's not her. And then the whole, that sounds like Yoko because we've heard her say yo, and they got the example from the show. But it is only one word, and it's more of a sound, and we don't hear anything else. So that's a little bit hard to prove, but I'm like, they got me Delulu. They got me Delulu out here with this. Mai. Sounds just like her. Mai. I don't know. We're Delulu. One more time. Just one more time. It's so crazy. I had something here, but it got deleted for some reason. But it was about Nani's fake account. So apparently, on TikTok, people are impersonating Nani and going on like saying ridiculous things and non-truths and stuff like that. And so she had to report them and get those accounts taken down. Which, I mean, when she took this job, I'm sure she wasn't thinking that I'm gonna have to deal with like online attacks from fans. Like that wasn't like a part of her thought process at all. Wasn't thinking about that. Ooh, I bet you she was regretting taking this job. Like, and is probably happy that it's only a 3 to 6 month job. She's like, oh, can't wait for this one to be over. Can't wait to move on, go back to the fintech or the venture capital industry. I do want to talk about the newbie. So the newbie did come out. NineStar did post about it, and this is the post. So it has 61 hearts and 90 comments, and almost all of those comments are negative. Like almost every single one of them are negative. So not great. Like not a great turnout for that. I will say that. Also, Yoko didn't repost anything about the newbies on her page at all, and people were like making speculations like she's on her honeymoon in Vietnam, so she got her shit on silent. She is not answering any NineStar calls. Which is funny and maybe true. Who knows? I hope it's true. But yeah, she didn't post anything. They didn't ask her to post, because the last time she posted, everything was negative. There's 2 posts and all of the comments were negative. And so I imagine they either didn't ask her to or she refused. I hope she refused. Honestly, I really do. I hope she refused. We got Nawat again. Sophie and Grand okay. I think we can work together, but that doesn't mean we're signing a new contract. Yesterday I spoke to P5. P5 can wait for the series, okay? Let the P5 get this set herself up first because she's been busy. Let's really clear it all up. Lu. I know. Okay, no, don't double message, please. So basically, Nawat went live again, and he was like talking about Faye. He's like, yeah, doesn't mean we're gonna sign a new contract, but we might work together, in some capacity, which is pretty cool. That's what I want. I don't want her to sign another contract, but I want her to do things that make her successful. But he's also saying like, hey, can y'all chill? Like, let her set herself up. She still has a lot going on. Let's do that. And then he responds to the Lu situation. He's like, okay, I hear you guys. Like, chill. Like, you don't have to double message me. I get it. You don't want her to be with Lu. Oh, that's so funny. Woo, hilarious. The last thing that I do want to talk about is I did see a post. I don't know. I don't have the post, but it was something about people were raising money for Yoko, and they had raised like $1 million baht for her for something. I don't really know what it was for, but then here again, another fan group is raising money. They've raised over $1 million baht for Faye's new salon. If she needs any more financial help, they raised money for her so she could open her salon, which is crazy and amazing. And like, imagine to have that kind of support, and like they're still raising money. They're like, hey, if you want to donate, there's still time. Like, she is so loved. I have to say, it's crazy how loved this woman is. Like, they found love in the wrong place at the right time. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. So like, this show has so much in terms of like mirroring, and this whole fiasco is like mirroring the show. There's a lot of mirroring of Blink in reality. So you have like the age gap controversy, which isn't really that big of a controversy, but they are like 7 years apart, so that goes along with the show. The fact that Faye really hurt Yoko's feelings when she called her the wrong name, and she ended up giving her noodles to make up and not telling her directly. In the show, she gives a Noob's character the drawing and doesn't really apologize. It's like kind of similar there. The fact that the grandmother dies in the show, and for Faye, her grandfather dies in real life. In the show, she's opening an art gallery. In reality, she's opening a new salon and a nail shop. The fact that Faye made those Instagram posts in the white shirt, she even knows like the connection of that. Those things, right? That's like very apropos. Yoko being in the hospital, she was in the hospital last year. She was like, I guess for fatigue or something like that. So she was in the hospital. We're at a point where in the show, the parents wanted them separated, and they got separated, and it was supposed to be for 2 to 3 years. And we are pretty certain that Yoko has 2 to 3 years left on her contract. So she's going to be separated, possibly professionally, from Faye for the next 2 years. So it's like, what the fuck? Like, this is very much like art imitating life, and it's like, are we gonna get a happy ending? Are we gonna get a 3-month coma? Like, what is the end of this? I really hope we get a happy ending, because like, damn, this has been a fucking roller coaster. It really has, and I hope that the next is a good ending, and they're at another company or another entity, and they're able to really thrive, hopefully together. In the very near future. That's all I can really say. but it's just, it's really too early to tell. Plus, even if they have like a real relationship, my NineStar might tell Yoko that she can't be in any photos or media associated with Faye, right? We don't know what her contract says and how it works, but seeing as they have control over social media and that she doesn't actually show up that much in her friends' social media, for that matter, I could see them being like, we need you to try to not be in any social media that Faye is in. But maybe, my fantasy is that they still are hanging out, right? So you got a fantasy is like Nawat hires Faye for a new production company, buys out Yoko's contract, which is not going to happen. She finishes college, do a new series right after she's done with university, and that new series is under MGI or a side business that Faye has control of, like she's a producer or an actor or whatever, right? And has a profit sharing of that as well. While this was going on, Faye is taking Yoko to like events. Like she's still in college, she's finishing stuff up. She's gonna wait to do her next series until she's done with school. But Faye is taking her to all the events, all the MGI events, all of her press, anything like that. Yoko is coming along. I would love that, and I would love to see her constantly at the new salon, just sitting there doing her homework, hanging out or whatever. I just hope that she's there a lot. This is like my update on the whole fiasco. I don't really know what to say other than like this is a hot mess, and I'm here for the hot mess. I am really here. I'm here to follow along and see what happens because I like a little bit of drama that I'm not a part of. I do feel for Yoko and Faye, and I really hope that they are okay and that they are loving each other and supporting each other and are good and are moving on slowly but surely. But this is quite entertaining. I can't deny that this is entertaining. So, anywho, I will probably update again when there's more information in like a week's time. But otherwise, you'll see some other content from me coming out. So look forward to that, and I will talk to y'all in the next videos. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see ya. Peace.
Mod systemet vi bokser, de andre hopper som lopper, imens jeg også er en hosser.